Thank you, Professor. Distinguished invitees and the organizers. I represent the T team that is for targeting. First and foremost, I should thank the Harvard University team, which gave us a lot of support to come out with this outcome. The main task given to the T team was to identify problem one, the failure to identify potential dynamic products and services capable of attracting FDI and also enhancing exports at a national level. Number two was identify potential market to match the sectors with zones or the areas of location. Number three, we identified lack of interagency coordination to reach national targets. So with this, we mainly focused on problem one, but at the same time, simultaneously, we worked on problem two and problem three as well. First, as we prepared a conceptual framework based on 4 questions. Actually, the World Bank study we used was also helped us to prepare these questions. We identified 9 variables with 131 sub-variables. For this, the sample was 20 manufacturing sector, subsectors, and 7 services sectors. So the first question was whether there will be a significant impact with the growth of this product. And for that, 3 variables with 55 sub-variables. And are there market opportunities and good investor prospect? For that, 2 variables and 30 sub-variables for the market opportunities, and 2 variables and 24 sub-variables for investor prospects. And does Sri Lanka have the assets, supply and demand both, soft and hard assets, to be competitive in this sector? 2 variables with 22 sub-variables. Then we identified these 27 subsectors, which included about 7 main sectors too. And it was the next task for us to analyze these data. For this purpose, we prepared a template and we distributed among the team members as well as the other research staff of the Board of Investments, because actually we started about this study in October and we have come up to this stage only within 3.5 months, not even 3.5. And it was quite a lot of work because we did in-depth analysis. We used a lot of data to come up with a scientific approach in analyzing. So to data analysis, if I talk, we consider 3 criteria. What is the strengths in Sri Lanka today? You can see a lot of variables like export value, intensity, employees, so on and so forth. And for the market opportunities and investor interest too, we have taken quite a lot of an array of data, and impact for Sri Lankan economy too, that was quite in-depth analysis was done. So based on these 3 criteria, we evaluated the templates that was done by the team members. And this is the initial outcome of sector prioritization analysis. And for this, out of the general sectors, which we included data, we got top 10. These are the top 10, starting from industrial machinery up to education. And the subsectors that we did template, specifically selected sample, started from medical devices to insulated wires. So this was the initial result or the outcome that we got from our scientific analysis. And from that initial outcome, if we take a bubble graph, you can see that top right quadrant shows where the impact for Sri Lankan economy as well as the market opportunity and investor interest is high. So from the side, the sectors are there. You can see what is marked in yellow. I hope you can see that. Those are the ones in the top right quadrant. And the sectors in blue reflects the general sectors. We have not gone into specific subsectors, which we need to do in future. So if you can see medical devices, we have got as one of the most promising sectors. as well as tourism, solar panels, circuit panels, software and IT, and also apparel. Two specific products that we have considered are not on the top right, but reaching. So we know apparel, we always talk, that is one of our top best products, but we have to ensure if we are to sustain that, how and what things we should do. And at the same time, we are very concerned about the education, especially the vocational training, because it applies to all the sectors' sustainability. So this is the initial outcome of our analysis, and we need to go through in-depth analysis of this further. So for example, reasons for why these medical devices have come to top. When you take the impact to Sri Lankan economy, the overall score comes to 0.54, mainly because very high potential for new linkages, which the opportunity gain index shows 1.12. And the market opportunity is also high, 0.45. And because of these reasons, it has come to top right quadrant. Why value education is on top left quadrant? That is because the impact to Sri Lankan economy is high, but the market opportunity and investor interest is not that high because it's not a top investment destination for education, even if you take the countries like India. So then our question number 2 was site selection, matching target sectors and zones. So as we know, selection of lands and availability of lands is a very serious problem in our country. So we prepared the site selection criteria, action plan, and the template for screening the lands, for identification lands, or for establishing new zones. So for that process, we have sent letters to the owners of land, because as the professor rightly said, most of the lands are owned by government agencies, and also the ministry will be supporting us in order to get the government agents or the provincial government approvals. And we hope to have meetings with the land-related stakeholders to obtain details of available lands. And also it's a must that we establish a land bank, and there must be a committee which consists of landowners. And when our problem 3 it was very interesting. When we listed all our stakeholders, we had about 77, and we categorized them under authorizers, policymakers, data sources, beneficiaries, public, and line agencies. You could see from here, quadrant A is the best. Actually, these ones does not reflect the size of what we have not prioritized. We have only taken the interest and the influence they have. So if you take quadrant A, where the influence and interest are high, if we are to get this project's approval process faster and accelerate, every agency should be in this quadrant A. Really, when we take from 15 to 73 are the line agencies. So when you take quadrant A, only about 35% of line agencies are in this quadrant A, and about 57 agencies are in quadrant B. So that is also an answer to the professor's clarification about why these projects are delaying, because the Board of Investment as the approving agency, we cannot give the approval single-handed. It goes to all these line agencies as and when required. For example, when you take for these medical devices, only when you take the line agencies, you need 17 approvals from different agencies at different levels of the project approval process. Likewise, for each and every project, every sector, at least you need 12 to 20 approvals for each. So this is where we have to, although we thought it's a problem 3, when we came into this study, we realized it's problem 1, because however much sectors you identify the potential of these, if you don't have a synchronized system to get this approval process, it's not going to work. So this is again the medical devices, how we have put these approval line agencies to the quadrants. And when you take the way forward, when we identified the sample, we have missed industrial machinery and equipment, transport equipment, and fabricated metal products. Because we put the general data, these sectors also have come to the top right quadrant. So it's a must that we go into subsectors of these three industries if we are to diversify our exports and FDI, to attract FDI. So the way forward is, now that we have received the initial analysis and the outcome, we need to have the detailed analysis, and preparation of sector profiles is a must. We would like to see why each and every subsector is in this position of this quadrant, so that we can discuss with the other sector teams as well as the stakeholders what are the positive aspects in promoting these sectors and what are the negatives, and what are the remedial measures that we should take to rectify these negative aspects. And we have already started sharing our outcomes with the other teams, and we want to spread it throughout all other stakeholders. And we need to develop a sector location methodology and sector country methodology to select the best locations, because our problem too is to identify locations, especially the zones. So even if we select these sectors, if we don't have the places for them to move, it takes a long time for investors to take off the project. So that we need to identify the right places internally, what sectors should go where, and also by sector country methodology to see what countries go for outward investments and for what sectors they go for, and who are the investors, if they are the anchor investors, to whom we should approach. And if we want a very big, say, for pharmaceutical investor, we may not need 10, 15, but if we need one good investor, we should propose them what they need and try and see what we can offer them and get that investor. And certainly there will be a lot of other sectors that will follow with that industry. So, and then synchronizing various approvals for identified sectors, it's a must that could reduce the time taken for approval process. So these are the things that we wish to take forward with our study. And thank you very much. I thank the Harvard University as well as the ministry and our Director General who appointed these teams. And we would need the support of all the stakeholders for our future activities. Thank you very much.